welcome to the Startup Grind.
I'm really happy that you could join us tonight, Valérie, and happy that you could be here. And as well as the little one joining as well. He told me earlier that he was pretty excited to be surrounded by so many people.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
So one of, I guess the first question would be, are you from Zurich?
No, I'm not from Zurich.
Where do you come from?
I was born in Winterthur, so it's not so far from here. But my dad is from Lausanne, and he often worked in the French part of Switzerland. So we moved to Bern when I was 4, and my mother tongue actually was French, and I learned German when I go to the kindergarten in Bern. So.
Okay. Yeah.
I speak Bernese German, yes.
And did you always think when you were a kid, did you always think that one day you'd be running your own company?
No, not at all.
So, as it is in Switzerland, when you're 12 and later on when you're 14, 15, there's already a lot of pressure about deciding what you're going to study. What did you study, and were you thinking about business and running a company and hiring people and all that?
Yeah, so I never thought about all these things actually. So I was inspired by my first big love actually. So I met him when I was 15, and I didn't know what I should do after grammar school, and he was a bit older than me, and he's just finished college, and I was pretty impressed by meeting somebody who did college, because in my family nobody was at college and nobody studied, and I wanted to go to college, and I really did everything to pass the exam, and I made it, and it was then easy because I was there for 4 years and I didn't have to think about anymore what I wanted to do. But at the end of college I was not sure what to do, but I knew that I didn't want to go to school anymore because I wanted to earn my own money. I already moved away from home with 18 and had some side jobs, and this was really excited to earn my own money. And then I get into multimedia things. I met somebody who did some multimedia production, and it was like I was like, I want to learn that. I want to do things for the web and do animations and work with the computer, and so I found my passion. Yeah.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly.
And so Ginetta is your current company, but it's not your first company.
No, it's not. So and I didn't found the company. So the company was founded by my business partner Simon Rass 7 years ago, and I'm there as a managing partner since now 5 years. Yeah.
Okay. And but before that, you had other companies that you were running.
Yes. So when I was 20, after grammar school, I made kind of it was not a real college. It was here in Zurich. I think there are some of you who knows it. It was SI. I made a multimedia production course. It was 1.5 years, and in the same time I had the opportunity to do an internship as a multimedia producer. And when I was finished with the studies, I applied for some jobs, but unfortunately I didn't get one because I was very unexercised. So I didn't have so much knowledge, and in this time when I did my study, I really appreciated to work on projects and with people. And then when I had to search for a job, it was hard to do so many things because I learned about graphic design, animation, integrating sound programming, and all the jobs where I see it was either it was developing or it was design, but not something I could do everything. So yeah, and like that I started my own company. So that was the first. I started doing websites, so really small websites for the first. They have some friends and later some small companies.
Nice. And so what advice would you give to Swiss entrepreneurs looking to start their own business here in Switzerland? So a lot of people here have the entrepreneurial bug. A lot of people have started or are wanting to start or have an idea, and it's a question that comes up very often in the Swiss startup scene about starting your company. So what advice would you give to someone looking to start their business today?
Don't be afraid. There is a solution for everything. Do what you love because it needs a lot of energy and endurance. So it's good to have passion for what you do. You will need it. What could
and one question is, would that advice be, or what additional advice would you be to female entrepreneurs? Because as you can see in the room, we have a majority of men. It's always a challenge, it seems, to get the female entrepreneurs to come out and play as well. So,
yeah, so I mean, I would say the same thing. I see often, I'm also a mentor, so I also meet some young women who try with their business, and most of the time I see that they are not brave enough, so they are frightened about different things or unsure, but I can understand because I was the same in this age. And I never had a mentor, but I always had people around me who believed in what I was doing and in myself, of course. So this really helped. And yeah, don't be afraid. I would say just go and try. And even if you fail, it's not bad. It's actually a good thing because we learn from that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say is the most important thing that a founder should do once the company goes beyond the first few employees? So when you joined Ginetta, for example, it was probably very small?
Yeah, we were 3 people when we started. We had 0 income and anything was set up. So I think it's important that you have the right people, actually, that you find good people who match in your company culture, if you have one at the beginning. But I think the people who works for you or the people you work with them, it's the most important assets you can get.
And what do you look for when hiring new people? Currently, as far as I understand, you're predominantly a female workforce. How's the ratio, the current ratio in the company?
Yeah, we have 10 women and 7 men right now.
So what do you look for when you're hiring new people?
So we are not choosing about concerning the gender. I mean, we always take the best. But what is really impressive is that we always have more female people who are applying for a job than men. And I think it also comes because we have so many women in our office, and I guess we already have a bit the image that we have a women-friendly working culture. But when we are looking for new people, I think not only their skills are the most important, but also the potential they have, and further on how they are as humans. I mean, we investigate a lot in the recruiting process. We don't choose alone, so it's not Simon and me deciding who will start at Ginetta. We have kind of a recruiting process with several steps where we meet first alone with them, and then we bring them to the team, and we have lunch or apéro together, and then we have several interview sessions where Simon and me, we are not attending, it's only our team doing the interviews, and then we decide together.
Nice. And what are the dynamics of your team like, and how does that compare to other places that you've worked in?
I'm not so experienced in other places. I was only hired one time, it was twice in 2 different companies. And at Ginetta we have a very strong feedback culture. So as you probably know, we do user experience design for web and mobile apps, and the user always is in the center, and we focus on the user, and we are constantly getting feedback from the user. But not only in projects we have a strong feedback culture, also in general. So we give each other feedback for every design. We have design studios at Ginetta, and we have also a lot of one-on-ones or discussion internal with the team, and we expect feedback from our employees not only on the project but also on management or leadership or processes and everything, and I think this is really exceptional.
And something else I think that a lot of people are always curious about when they're starting up, especially service businesses, how do you find or reach out to potential clients, especially in the beginning when you were starting. That's always the biggest challenge, is to build up your client base. So what are some tips along those lines for expanding or getting the first clients and building on top of that?
Yeah, so the most important thing is to go out and meet as many people as you can, and talk about your product or your service, and try to give this passion you feel for what you do, to really this fire that you can transport that. I think if you are really passionate about what you do, it's easier to share this passion. And I started with Ginetta in Zurich. I only lived here for a year, so I'm here now for 6 years. And I didn't know so many people, but I went to every kind of web event, like Web Monday and UX Hochie and UX Book Club, and I don't remember what it was, but I went everywhere and I told everybody about Ginetta, and on Twitter and Facebook, and I think this is really important. And then, of course, you need some references. So when you start then doing the things that you also talk about it or communicate it. We are not so good at Ginetta with that, but we are trying.
Networking is a big key, and communicating your successes as well. So, and have you experienced any moments where you feel like, I made it, this is a great success?
I'm proud of what we did so far, or what I could do so far, but I'm not done. I mean, I'm not finished. I don't know what will happen in the next few years, but I don't feel like be there where I want to be, or maybe saying differently, I never planned this, or I never planned to have a company with almost 20 people, so it grows how it comes, and yeah.
And was there a time that you failed in business, and how did you manage to come back from that?
Yeah, of course there are moments where, I would say, moments which are not easy, and maybe you do the wrong decision, but I was never at the point where I felt like everything is falling apart, so I always learned from wrong decisions, or wrong clients, or bad projects, and yeah, I also learned that not every decision is about facts and figures, but it's more important to listen to your gut feelings. So when I was younger, and at the beginning, I often took some project where I hadn't a good feeling already from the beginning, and then I thought, yeah, let's try it anyway. And most of the time I felt that I should have heard better to my gut feelings.
By the way, if anyone has a question throughout the course of the conversation this evening, feel free to raise your hand. I might not see you immediately, but I see we have one already. So let me bring the microphone so everyone can hear your question.
Just a quick question. You just mentioned a wrong client. From your point of view, what is a wrong client?
Yeah, that's a good question. So not the client was wrong or is wrong, but the wrong client is somebody who maybe doesn't match to your company, or doesn't match with the things you are providing, or your service. So we are doing apps and web and mobile apps, but at the end we're working with humans, so we're working with people, and I think a good relationship with the client is very important. It should be more a partnership than a clientship, and yeah, sometimes it doesn't match just from a personal, on a personal level maybe, and sometimes we should be more brave and say, hey, I think it doesn't match. It's not a bad thing, but it won't work.
So in recent years, you've been able to turn down clients.
Sorry?
In recent years, you've been able to say no to clients.
Yes, I am. And it's anything negative. I think it's just, if you have a bad feeling from the beginning, it's better not to start business with these people.
Yes, I'm sure as an entrepreneur it takes a lot of courage to say no to money coming in, especially when you have employees to take care of and bills to pay. But like you said, it could turn out worse and cost more in the long run, as opposed to what the initial projected income would be.
Yeah, or your team is very demotivated because it gives a lot of trouble, and I
so team comes first.
Yeah, team comes first.
And what are the most important requirements to succeed as an entrepreneur? What do you feel are the...
I think you should be open and I'm repeating myself. I think passion is very important. Also to be, how do you say? Also that the people take you seriously, or and I guess you really need endurance. So, and if you fail, not to give up so fast.
Nice, thank you. And what advice would you give to a young Valérie today if you could go back in time?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't do things differently than I have done it. So maybe to be more self-confident. So this was really something I had to learn. I was really not so communicative and not so sure about all the things I did. So I think this is something what men are better or have more self-confidence even from the start, and
So in general, just to be more confident, and I guess also, like you said earlier, trust your gut more and then be more vocal and communicative about that.
Yeah.
Excellent. And as the company has grown, what techniques have you used successfully to transfer processes to the new employees, to the new people coming in, to bring that culture, make sure that the culture continues to grow with the company? So I'm sure there's people in the room who are thinking about expanding their company or are looking forward to a certain point in time when they will need to hire new people, expand out of the 3, 4, or 5 people. So as you start getting your 6th, 7th, or 10th employee.
Yeah, I mean at the beginning we didn't have any processes, and when you get bigger you need some. But we still try to be as lean as possible. We still have no hierarchy, so we don't have design leads or tech leads or whatever. So we have a flat hierarchy, and we still try to integrate our team in discussions and decisions. I mean, at the end we decide, of course with Simon we are deciding, but we try to involve our team and to communicate as transparent and as often as it's possible. And we don't implement structure, we just implemented processes. Yeah. But we still try to really do the things as we did 2 or 3 years ago. So if you want to go to vacation, you don't have to ask, you just have to discuss it with your colleagues that not everybody is leaving at the same time, and we still haven't working hours or things like that. So, and I think this is also something who's very attractive for our team.
And you mentioned that you're often involved in coaching young entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in general, is there a recurring theme that comes up or a recurring topic that that comes up often when coaching entrepreneurs and coaching startups? So like a specific topic or a specific theme that you often, it's the same topic or often it's the same that you give to many of the different entrepreneurs or people that you coach. So a topic that you feel very often comes up. Because, for example, we have, I don't know, 85, 90 people in the room tonight, and if you were to coach each one individually, there might be the same thing that comes up again and again. So has there been a topic that in your coaching has come up very often?
Yeah, so I'm not so experienced as you think. I mean, I have now my first mentee from Aspire, and we only met twice, so I can't really say a lot. But of course, I have 17 employees, and I also kind of coach them, of course. And what I can observe is that many of them they need they have a bit the same issues than I had about not to be enough self-confident, or they have trouble in standing in front of people and talking about their designs, or dealing with clients about money is a big issue as well. I mean, talking about budget and timeline is not so easy. Things like that. But it's more from the service side. I mean, I'm not in the product business.
You have another question?
Hi, I wanted to ask you a question because you said that Ginetta has the image of a women-friendly workplace. So what does it mean in your case? In what ways are you women-friendly?
Good question, thank you. So there are different things. I think as I'm a woman myself, and I built this company, for me everything is really normal. I mean, it's normal that women who get pregnant want to stay at home for 6 months. It's totally normal. It's fine, and they can come back and do the same job they did before, even if it's only 50 or 60%. Things like that, it's not a discussion at Ginetta, and I know that in other companies this is an issue, and I have many friends who couldn't go back in their old jobs after maternity leave, or I mean, at Ginetta everybody is sitting at the table, and I think we do also coach women special, so we really want that they engage themselves and go to the front and present their designs, and there is not a project manager or the boss who is doing that, so everybody has to do it. So kind of things like that. And we also have a lot of informal get together, like we always have lunch together, and we have sometimes do weekends or go away for a week to work, and this helps also to speak about different things than only the job, and I don't know, things like that.
So along the topic of maternity leave, obviously you have a maternity leave coming up soon. So how do you project the work-life balance? how does it work right now, your work-life balance, and how do you see that happening once the little one comes along?
Yeah, so I don't know.
Work-life balance is something, I guess, amongst entrepreneurs. You know, it's when you're working at a 9 to 5, it's your 9 to 5. Once you start your own project, it's 24/7. It's non-stop. You feel like any time you have is time that you must invest in your startup. It's time, it's money that you're losing, and you just feel this constant drive to be producing and pushing your startup forward.
Mm-hmm.
But work-life balance is just as important as an entrepreneur. And so,
yes, it is.
In building Ginetta and over the years, how have you managed the work-life balance, and how do you see that coming up now with the little guy?
Yeah,
girl,
so
you know?
Sorry?
Is it a boy or a girl?
It will be a boy. Yeah, so what kind of joke? I did miss that. Yeah, actually, Ginetta is also kind of a baby, or was a baby. Now it's a teenager, I would say. But I always had other passions. I mean, one of the most important thing always was Ginetta and what I did there. So I had the mission to build this company because, as I said when I started, we started from zero. But I always liked to do sports, and I'm really a passionate cyclist, and I did every year thousands of kilometers with my bike. I was doing triathlon, and I guess this helped me to have a certain distance sometimes, and to also to do different things, and it helped me also to have new ideas or to solve problems. And I think it's very important that you are not only focused on your business. I mean, you need something else to keep in balance. But I mean, the word work-life balance is a bit, I don't know. I mean, today everything is melting in each other. I see that. I mean, we are available all the time. I'm checking my emails when I drink my coffee in the morning, and before I go to bed I'm checking again. But I think for me it's okay because I love what I do and I'm really interested to know what's happening, and it's not something who bothers me, it's something who gives me energy as well. And what will be in the future, I don't know. I have a plan, of course. It's important to have a plan, I guess, and I will come back, and I'm not imagining to turn off my computer when my little boy will, or when I will give birth to my little boy, and I will. I mean, it's my company. I will keep on track somehow.
And as you mentioned before, there's a lot of things, and as you're developing your company, there's often things that you don't know, or questions that you have, or challenges that you face. So how did you go about finding the kind of support or help that you needed externally to overcome the different challenges or the questions you had?
So one really enriching thing is that I'm not alone. So we are two. We are Simon and me. We are business partners, and it's good to have somebody to discuss all these problems and take the decisions together. And sometimes we are at the point we both don't know how to decide, and we talk to some specialists, for example, concerning investments, or but when I was younger, I had more. I never had a mentor, as I said, but I had some people I could go and discuss things. And I know so many people in Zurich, which also are entrepreneurs, and yeah, you just meet each other and you talk, and there is not a recipe, and
reaching out to general networking, finding other people.
Yeah.
And as you've mentioned a few times, communication is essential and is an important key. Is there any special techniques that you've found in your company that has, I'm sure you've probably tried a variety of methods, maybe a variety of, so both techniques, interpersonal techniques, as well as any practical tools that you have found that software that has made it easier. So what do you guys use internally?
To collaborate together, or
yes, besides email.
Yeah, so we are big fans of Google Apps, and I mean, my business partner worked at Google, so we chat, but what the team is concerning, we have a lot of discussions on a...
Mainly verbal communication?
Yes, yeah. And we chat a lot, so I can say that.
And is there a favorite motivational quote that you have? So an inspiring quote, or do you have something framed on your wall?
No, I haven't.
What about a favorite motivational book that you can recommend?
Yeah, for everybody I can recommend to read Lean In from Sheryl Sandberg. Also for men, or especially for men.
So it's not the first time that you mentioned that in an interview. Can you explain a little bit more about that? And
about the book?
About the book and how you feel and the application, the practical application.
Yeah, when I read the book, I feel very, I felt very understood, because a lot of things which Sheryl wrote in her book were really familiar to me, so I really felt what she was trying to tell. And she has some good points in it, and there are also things which motivated me or gave me security to try it out.
Is there any questions from the audience?
I just wanted to come back to something you've mentioned earlier on. You said that at Ginetta you don't have tech leads and design leads. And how can you make people feel accountable, who's responsible for their work if you don't have lead roles? How do you manage with this design strategy?
What do you mean by accountable?
Usually when I'm responsible for something and I fail, I know that my head is going to get chopped off. So now in that case, I was just wondering how, because usually that improves the quality of work, but also could be counterintuitive, I guess, if it puts you in too much stress. So I was just wondering how you deal with that to make people feel responsible and have an ownership in what they do.
Maybe you should ask Tanya. She was a former employee of Ginetta. No, in our project teams, our project teams consist, we always have a design lead in a project. So we don't have a design lead, means we don't have a design lead who is leading a design team. But in a project we have a design lead which is kind of a single point of contact for the client, so it's not a project leader because we haven't any. So it's a design lead, and the design lead is supported by the design partner and the project coordinator. And I never felt like that they didn't get enough accountability. Yeah. But I don't know if this is the question. This is the answer to the question.
I guess it's part of the company culture where everyone, since it's a flat hierarchy, everyone feels equally responsible. Everyone's shouldering the load, and they know that if one person stops pulling, it will impact everyone, and it will impact themselves as well.
So every employee has direct contact with the client, and through that, I think he feels responsible.
Hi, I got a question. I think that are a few questions in one, but I'll try to make it short. What is the process that you have when you start a project? And when in this process the user get involved, and also how you get to understand the clients, what is the best for the user that maybe is not going to be the best for them.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so, yes. So, as we are now, as a company who is focused on the user, and our approach is very user-centered, most of the clients are approaching Ginetta because they are searching for a company who does exactly what we do. So when we start a project, we don't expect a list of features from the client. We first want to do research. We want to learn about the expectations and the needs of the users. And actually this helps us to then argue, or having the right arguments for the clients, why we do things, how we do it, and not differently. So we are involving the user from the beginning with user research. So we have different methods. We have 2 psychologists who are working with us. And then later in the design process, we test our designs with real users. So we are doing user testing every week.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
My question is, who are the role models for you in your field, or who are the people you are looking up to in the UX space?
So the question, can I rephrase it? I'm not sure. So you want to know who is my role model?
In the UX environment, when it comes to UX, who do you look up to in the UX field, user experience?
Yes, so my business partner, Simon, I think he's one of the greatest interaction designer in Switzerland. I don't have an idol, actually. I'm not a person who, I look at things and try things out, and if it's easy for me, I think, I like it, and if not, I don't. But I don't have an idol or a role model in UX. No.
Just along the similar lines, so have you had a mentor? Have you had someone who you could ask questions when you had doubts, or who has supported you in your business that you could go to, or a group maybe?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I was also in a female association called Business and Professional Women, and there I I met many women which were entrepreneur or were in leading positions, so I had a lot of discussions, but I never, as I already said, I never had a mentor. And the time when I was employed as an account manager, the vice president of this company was kind of a coach for me, because I found he was very inspiring, and he always motivated me to do the next step. But yeah, it wasn't, I mean, I never had the attention to lead the company, so it really came one after another.
So we have time for one or two more questions.
Are your customers exclusively in Switzerland, or are they outside of Switzerland? Maybe my first.
They are all in Switzerland.
They are all in Switzerland. And do you always interact with the native Swiss people when you're at these companies, or are you working with people maybe from Germany or Americans? And what's your experience with working with people outside of Switzerland?
Yeah.
Culturally.
So maybe I can start with Ginetta itself. So we not only have a lot of women, but we are also a very diverse group. So we have people from Germany, from US, from France, from Slovenia, from Portugal. So our culture is very, I think through this mix, we are what we are today. We speak English at Ginetta, so not everybody is speaking German. And what our client is concerning, it's very different. So we have, we work with big clients like Swisscom and SBB and Helsana and local.ch, and for example at local.ch they have a lot of foreign people as well. So the tech, the web team which we worked with, and in other company it's only Swiss guys, but I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. It's not a big difference.
One last question. Way in the back.
Don't worry, I can speak from here.
For recording, it might help to have a mic.
I'm shy. Hello, we met in Geneva.
Hi.
Hey, hello. I just wanted to ask you, you work with people, and where do you find the people who test the usability? Since I'm doing as well an application that I would love to find people who try my application, how you find the people who test the application you guys designed?
Yeah, so I want to introduce you to Reto. So he has a startup, and it's called Testing Time, and they do exactly what you need. You should talk with him.
I'm already flirting with Reto since 1 hour.
So it was the right answer.
So to wrap up, we have a special series of questions that we ask to all of our guests. It's 10 very short questions, and just give the first thing that comes to your mind. They're simple questions. So, what item do you own that you would never sell?
My bike.
What is your most unusual skill? Is it private? Okay. So, what's more important to you, strength, speed, or stamina?
What is more important to you?
What is more important to you, strength, speed, or stamina?
Strength.
What historical figure do you most admire?
I'm not a person with idols or historic people. Sorry.
And what's the best compliment that you can receive, that someone can give to you?
To be neutral?
Neutral.
Neutral, yes.
And what's the best compliment that you can give to others? Well, we can move on to the next one. What's your favorite season?
Spring.
Spring. And when was the last time you tried something new?
These are the hard moments.
Well, have you tried something new recently?
Yeah, I'm sitting here with you in front of all these people.
And if you could have the attribute of any animal, which animal would it be?
A dolphin.
A dolphin. Anyways, thank you so much, Valerie, for being here with us tonight, for coming out this evening, and for opening your heart and your thoughts and sharing these stories with us. Really appreciate it. I'm sure there's a lot of valuable insights that we've been able to learn from that. And really appreciate you being here with us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much.